All right, welcome back. You're watching Inside Politics. Thank you for staying with us. It's now about time when we hear from you back at home and get to ascertain whether our points right on the round table went home. So allow us to start with our first caller on the line. He's calling from Kisii County. That's Francis Moranga, a familiar name to the show. Moranga, good afternoon. I hope you're well.
Yes, I'm doing quite fine, sir.
It's good to have you with us. In a minute or two, give us your sentiments briefly.
In fact, I'm very happy to see Manyora after a long time.
Thank you.
Together with Nyalibo.
Thank you very much.
Wamepokea salamu.
Wamepokea salam. Thank you. And what I'm saying is that in Kenya, the way Manyora puts it, corruption, in fact, is a big shame to our country, whereby we don't see the meaning of EACC. Second, Manyora, can you assist me know the meaning of the work of Nultinach because it's not seen, it's not known. The country has gone into fire and yet it's in the this person needs to be fired in fact. The word corruption in the country has an audit query. There is no reason why they should give that ministry money in the next budget. Through that, in fact, they can reduce so much in the side of corruption. Let us go to the president with the current situation right now. Yes, he's trying to query the situation, but it's not getting it right because nobody's with him in the side of the way people have perceived to see him as a liar. So, he cannot even remember what he said yesterday. Yes. Up with so many things. Kenya Road Society has done Kenyans proud by disowning the president's invitation to a funny committee to go and verify the debts of the country. Because the debts of the country is squarely known by the Auditor General by the name Nasiga Tungu. UDA man there with you is struggling to get even a word to just defend UDA, which has failed to give Kenyans. In fact, with the figures he's giving us, we don't know where he's getting them from. The country is healing. People to come to the show that the country is, and yet we are not working. In fact, let me say, Kenya, we are on the wrong direction. I really love the KC. These boys have done us proud to put it clear to our leaders to know that we are heading to a wrong direction. The president is misleading us. The MPs are misleading us. Even the ministers, they don't know what they do. In fact, look at the fertilizer scandal. We are on the wrong. Kindly, Manyora, thank you for coming. Nyalibo, thank you. And the rest, thank you. But you, dear person, just put up your socks. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for that. We definitely have recorded your sentiments. He's lauded the LSK for their move against that particular task force. He's of course sent greetings to, seems you two are his favorites, Nyaribo and Manyora, and of course he's challenged the UDA fella to pull up his socks. It's not easy defending government, it seems. Let's hear from our second caller, Osimbo Maria, who's calling from Mariakani. Osimbo, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can get you very right, please.
Okay, in a minute or two, give us your sentiments briefly in terms of what we've talked about, briefly.
Number one thing that has actually gotten us here, you cannot improve what you can't measure. If you can measure the status quo as it is right now, and then you can improve on it. So the government of Ruto does not have the KPIs at all. We are just like operating in the bush.
Okay.
Number two, I would like to say this. Like yesterday, I tried actually asking one of my friends, what is the main role of a village administrator as compared to Ali Guru? We have a lot of duplications, in terms of roles. We do have a sub-county administrator, county commissioner. We have what. All these jobs, their roles are basically duplications. Our pay bill, in terms of wages and let us say salaries, is so bloated because of duplication. It is actually in the Constitution, yes, but we can work it out. The Constitution is not cut on the rock at all. We can again have a referendum. For example, I do have nominated MCAs at home. I don't know their role. We do have women reps. Although the Constitution is telling us, we should have more women in governance space, but does it really add value?
Okay. Okay, Osimbo, we definitely have heard you. A message to the government: you can't improve what you can't measure, so there's a problem in measuring. It's like KPIs. That's something he's mentioned, and he's equally pointed out in terms of duplication of roles when it comes to various functions served by the government. Asante sana for your contribution, Osimbo. Let's cross over to our last caller, John Odundo, who's calling from Nyakach. Odundo, good afternoon. Briefly, in a minute or two, give us your sentiments.
Good afternoon, Jesse. Good afternoon, Jesse.
Yes, good afternoon, Odundo. Kindly proceed.
I would want to proceed first and foremost, congratulate Inside Politics program, a program that I've been following for quite a long time, for always upholding the integrity by seeing to it that very sharp-minded Kenyans are there. I congratulate Philip Kisia. I congratulate my own teacher at the University of Nairobi, Professor Herman Manyora, a real great man. I congratulate Advocate Nyaribo, and even the UDA defender over there, Anthony Ngeru. He's doing a fair job at defending the indefensible. Allow me get straight into my comment of the day. It was Charles de Gaulle, the former French president, who said that the wings of flight got closed almost as soon as they were opened for flight. And for this government, the UDA government, I really don't know where they went wrong, because they came into power with a lot of pomp and a lot of promise. But as soon as that occurred, things went haywire. And right now, nothing can be said of them. The hurting has been quite extreme. Complaints have been coming from every side, and the government has always been finding a way of dealing with it. But right now, seemingly, with the Gen Zs having come in, really, it's only a matter of time before this government packs and leave. Kenyans are tired and absolutely tired, Jesse. Thank you.
Before you go,
yes.
Odundo, do you believe the government is listening to the plight of Kenyans?
The government has never listened to any plight of Kenyans. This is a self-serving government that has always been on an overdrive to serve themselves and to serve those that support it. The conduct of the president and the conduct of a number of government officials has been deplorable. And I say deplorable because it is what we watch on our TVs and what we see on our newspapers daily. This country has sunk so low to the extent of we discussing the price of shoes and the price of belts of our politicians, because that is what they display. If you are in charge as a president and you really can never call your servants and the servants of the government to order and to discipline, then you have lost it. And so the head of state has lost it. essentially, that is what is it.
Okay, Odundo, we definitely hear you. Asante sana for your contribution. And we'll get them all into context as I ask for our panelists to be brief with their final comments. And of course, we'll start with the government representative there. We've had you being castigated and lauded in equal measure. But at the end of the day, how do we talk to a Kenyan who feels that the government is not listening? And I know President Ruto has joined X, he's conceded to the finance bill. That's in recent memory. But what Kenyans remember is the fact that, just as Odundo has mentioned, that they seem to be going their way and not our way as Kenyans. So kindly speak to that briefly.
Thank you so much. What I would like to say as we close up is the government has a very formidable feedback mechanism in every policy that they implement. And still going back to the medium-term plan 4, which is a lead up to the larger Vision 2030. Just recently, they came out with their M&D framework, which has their own key performance indicators. I've had one of the callers whom I really loved for sharing their sentiments here today say that we do not have key performance indicators for our government. That one is quite inaccurate, and I'd also say that even the manifesto of this current government is aligned to those key performance indicators. Okay. And the president is very intentional about seeing it through and ensuring that it is fully implemented. And I'd also like to call upon some of the people who are unemployed out there to to go to National Employment Authority website. There are a lot of opportunities out there. Okay. And still there are a lot of opportunities still in the housing sector and also in the digital space.
Interesting. Asante. Wakili, you can equally speak about the duplication of roles, something that has been raised briefly.
Yeah, I think the president and the government of the day should ensure that the correct professionals are placed at the right places. That will avoid duplication of roles. And also, it will also, encourage citizens to put talent where it belongs, so that not everybody is brought to the fore, even where they do not qualify. Having said this, Jesse, I just want to congratulate Kenyans for engaging their government, and I want to wish them that they should persist on engaging their government. Government must listen, and we should now go into the conversation of why does the government refuse to listen, so that we can assess historical injustices. Why is now Gachagua saying 1 man, 1 shilling, while yesterday he was not saying like that? So those major historical pertinent problems should be resolved, especially at this time.
Well noted. Philip,
thank you, Jesse.
Yes.
As a father of millennials and Gen Z, I'm very proud of you. Thank you for at least telling the president right on his face that he's naked. Let me say this. This is, and we have hope, this is the third and final liberation of this country. So let us not lose hope. To our president, there is blood on your hands. We have youthful people who have died. Please look at us as parents in our faces and give us an appropriate apology. Okay. I am looking forward, as a result of the movement, the wave that has been started by the Gen Zs and the millennials, I'm looking forward to a Sunak moment, Rishi Sunak moment, where the leader will say, I apologize and I hand in my resignation.
Interesting. Manyora.
Let me address myself to this issue of Gen Z. To my fellow countrymen, this is a revolution. It is not about removing Ruto from power. It's not about State House. It's not about, much less about the finance bill, and much less about the things that the president is trying to do and put in place. A revolution means a new way of looking at things and doing things. The Gen Z are birthing a new Kenya, a new world. Who wants you if you don't smell the coffee? When revolutions happen, those who suffer are those who try to resist, those who try to stand in the way of change. The Gen Z have been they have been very kind to us. what they have done, if these young men and women didn't do what they have done at the time they have done it, we were going into a bloody revolution in this country. We are going to destroy our country. So they have been kind to us. They have shown the way. And I'm telling Kenyans, smell the coffee. Wherever you are in your home, this revolution means you'll handle your children in a different way. If you are a principal of a school, the days of that all-powerful principal are gone. Okay. If you are the president, you'll do those things that will serve the interests of your people. Anything else, and all these people around the president must know. And allow me to say one more thing.
Our time is up.
I'm so surprised that people like Murukomen haven't even understood the gravity of the issue. If you listen to them talk, you say, where are they coming from?
Well, he's calling for an audit. That's a story for another day. That's how we wrap up today's edition of Inside Politics. Thank you so much for watching back at home, and to our panelists for making the time to contribute to this all-important discussion. Anthony Ngeru, the head of communications research at UDA, Ishmael Nyaribo, an advocate of the High Court, Philip Kisia, leadership and governance expert, as well as Haman Manyora, political analyst, known in these circles as the Professor of Politics. Asanteni sana for your input. That's how we wrap up today's edition of Inside Politics. Remember, we meet Sunday right here, same place, same time. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.